Are a slave's life worth less than the free Hebrews? This seems to be the case as stated in Exodus chapter 21 verse 32. If the ox gores a man or female slave, the owner shall give his or her master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. Compare that to the previous verses, and it seems that a Hebrew slave's life is less valuable. Some individuals may assume that owners may not receive death as a possibility if his ox gores a slave versus a free individual. This interpretation ignores previous instances in the chapter where a slave life is shown to be valuable, with the master being seriously reprimanded and a possibility of death for injuring a slave. Why would the text seem to mitigate the life of a slave in this instance? Some individuals may see this legal tree just like this. If the ox kills the individual and the owner did not know about the ox's behavior, they would be innocent. But if they did know, what happens next will be determined if the individual is a slave or free. If the individual is a slave, the owner pays a fixed ransom of 30 shekels to the master. But if the individual is free, what will be determined next will be if there is a ransom demanded from presumably the deceased family. If so, the man pays a ransom based on what is demanded from him. If not, the man dies. The ox dies in all these situations. Again, the issue with this tree is that it seems that the slave's life is being mitigated opposed to other passages. An owner of an ox theoretically can have his animals kill as many slaves as he wants and not receive a punishment besides a financial loss. Why can an owner receive a harsher punishment than the ox master? And may I remind you that these slaves were still supposed to be treated as brothers and sisters with respect and may be slaves for only a max of 6 years unless they chose to stay. But I say there's a different way to look at this chart that appears to be more accurate. Let's go to whether a ransom is demanded first, then determine whether an individual is free or a slave. Verse 28 does state that if a man or woman is killed by a negligent ox master, the master is liable and may receive death. Whether a servant or not, Hebrews are still man and woman. If we classify them in different categories, that would mean to not classify them in other passages of the Bible where a man or woman is mentioned. The only reason verse 32 separates servants to a different category is that a ransom is demanded with the set price being 30 shekels. A family could ask how much money they want in this compensation. Since a servant is bought, they have a set limit on this compensation. If such limit was not in place, a master could theoretically just buy a servant for 30 shekels and put him into a situation to lose his life to make a profit from someone. It's a slim chance, but it's still. These laws just establish a fair treatment and justice for everyone involved. So this is my seventh and last part for the biblical slavery Exodus 21 perspective. I plan on going to others on a later date. If you like the series, please like and subscribe, for I know people like watching this stuff.